Hey up, how do my lovelies? This is our next episode of Loose Lips, and I'm going to be chatting with Sarah Story. This is the sixth instalment of Loose Lips. The previous two chats of today's set of instalments of features have included the first chat, which was Simon Doherty. Simon Doherty, he is a editor and content creator for Vice. I've done three today, actually. Sarah's in the group as well. So I did Simon Doherty. That's what threw me. I was like, I'm sure I've done more than two. So Simon Doherty from Vice, he's a content creator for them. And then why do I call it Loose Lips? Because we get loose in the chats. That's what we do. Sarah's in the group, but you need to send me a request, my love. Send me a request and I can add you to the combo. So yeah, Simon Doherty from Vice. Then we had a real impactful, powerful, honest, frank talk with Neil from King Kobe. Definitely recommend that you go to seek that one out. And then after that, we've just spoken with Pete Trifonovich, who is an independent filmmaker. And now we are speaking with the one and only Sarah Story. She sent me a request. Let's see, connects us. Hey up, me love.
Hey up, lad, you right?
I'm good, how are you?
Oh, very well, thank you. It's so nice to hear a proper strong Yorkshire accent.
That's what I'm here for. This isn't really a chat show, it's just me to ply you with my Yorkshireness again so you move back up here.
I really miss Leeds. I miss it so much.
I think what I want to start with is that you posted a retweet, I think, from 2014. Is today like an anniversary where you left like your office job to go pursue what actually is now, what you're up to now?
Yeah. So 6 years ago today, I left my job. I used to work in PPI, so I wasn't selling it. I was dealing with the complaints and giving the customers the money back. And I worked at West Bank in Leeds. And I did that for 3 years. But whilst I was doing that, I was trying to pursue music and radio. And I was doing, it was mad actually. I was getting up at 4:30 in the morning and covering Capital Yorkshire's breakfast show when Hersey, Danny and Jojo weren't there. And then I'd finish and go straight to the office at 10 a.m. and do a whole day's work till like 7 o'clock in the evening. And I did that for on and off for a while. It was hard work, but yeah. And then I finally left, and oh mate, it was such a good feeling when I left. I was like, I'm off to be a radio presenter now. See ya.
does that still feel quite recent? You know,
Feels like it was yesterday
when you were doing that early shift and putting that graft in.
Yeah. I remember one of the first breakfast shows I ever covered on Capital Yorkshire. I got locked in my flat because I just couldn't open the door, and I had to jump out my friend's window. And the boss was like, "Why are you late?" And I was like, "This sounds like the shittest reason," and it doesn't sound real, but it was true. But yeah, it does. It feels like it was yesterday, and just like the hustling and how knackered I was. But I mean, it was worth it. I'm so glad I'm not doing that now, that job. Sorry to anyone that does that.
How did you get your in with Capital?
So I was in a band, and I can't remember the name because they asked me to basically be a vocalist. It wasn't my band. And we did BBC Introducing in York. And the girl that gave the interview, we got chatting, and I said to her, "Do you mind giving us a lift back to Leeds?" Because I knew she lived in Leeds. I didn't want to get the train. So we got chat. She said, "Yeah, give us a lift back to Leeds." We got chatting, and I was like, "Look, I really want to get into radio." I was like 22, I think at the time, 23. And I was like, "I don't know anyone in Leeds. Do you know anyone?" And she said, "Yeah, I actually met someone who works at Capital last week at a house party. Do you want his email address?" So that was it. I got the email, pestered him for about a year, and like kind of come in a demo, and then I did a few demos and it didn't quite work. Oh, there's a few people in here that I know. Hiya. Hi, Anne. And yeah, it's just about being persistent, really. But that was how I got in at Capital through the BBC, which is a bit weird.
No. The truth is, house parties. This is what I'm tending to find. A lot of people, I reckon, 67% of the people I've spoke with, it's because of the nightlife scene, shall we say, and some things happened or someone's manoeuvred something, and before you know it, opportunities presented, and then you've gone and you've grabbed it.
Well, the thing is, that's what's beautiful about clubbing. That's why I love clubbing, because you go on a dance floor and you don't know who's there. Like, you go to a rave and you've got a lawyer, you've got a doctor, you've got, I don't know, you've got a cleaner, you've got a DJ, you've got someone who works in like Topshop. Everyone's different. Everyone's from all walks of life. And you're just in a smoking area, whatever, chatting. And that's how you get to know each other. And that is how I've made all my connections, is going out clubbing. Yeah, I mean, I had actually, when I was DJing, I warmed up for Honey DJin a few weeks ago.
Doing bits, aren't you?
And I had a few people round at mine, and I actually got chatting to this guy called Arvine, who came round with some of his friends, and that was just from having a little house party. Me and him just got on like a house on fire, and me and him have become mates. And yeah, it's all about networking and just getting on with people.
When you were within the clubbing scene at that time, was it to pursue the singing side of it? Because I always seem to overlook that you can sing, and then I hear you sing and I'm like, she can sing, mate.
Well, do you know what it was? I always wanted to do the singing side of things. I was always a bit terrified to DJ, because it was, I don't know, it was always kind of guys doing it, I suppose. And it was just seemed like, it just seemed like I couldn't do it. For some reason, I had in my head I couldn't do it. So it was the singing thing. I went down that route, and when I had a track with The Affected, and I was kind of like, oh shit, okay, I can do this. I can write and I can sing. Wicked, this is working. But then at the time when that happened, I got the opportunity to work at Capital, and I just kind of thought, well, what's working for me at the minute? It's the radio side of things. So I kind of just went down the radio route, and because I moved around so much, I wasn't in the studios with people anymore, because I was kind of I went to Wales for a bit for work. So, but now I'm like, do you know what? I found the passion for it again, and I love DJing, and I found my confidence with that. So it's time to do that.
And what's cool is the way that you're marrying the two. So you'll be DJing, but then you also do like a PA over it as well.
Yeah, I think there's not that many people doing that, and I think, you know, you kind of got to find what's your little niche thing. And for me, it's writing top lines. I've been spending isolation writing tunes, which has been great. Like, so top lines for, like, you know, dance producers. And for me, that's like, do you know what? I should be doing that, really, because no one's I mean, obviously, remember Sonique back in the day? Yeah, of course. Yeah, she did it, didn't she? There was Abigail Bailey, and a girl called Ray, who was on Defected, and she used to sing over her sets. But apart from that, there's no one else really doing it. So I'm kind of thinking that's something that I should really probably hone in on.
With you working at Capital, do you find that, because what I love by following you on Instagram is, of course, your photos. Sort, aren't you, mate? You're a right sort, mate. You're a right sort. Well, come in an outfit. I don't know
about today, like, I've got a trackie on, but...
Mate. But, like, I find, like, the way that you post up the songs that in your day by being whatever.
My tune of the day playlist.
Yeah. I really love, like, the contrast between the two.
Yeah, I think, you know, because I work for Capital, which is a commercial radio station, I love pop music. I grew up listening to pop music, but I also love dance music. And I wanted to kind of put across on my Instagram that it's not, I don't just listen to chart music. I love dance music, and I love, like, the underground stuff. I love searching for music. Like, I used to spend a lot of my time at uni in my room just on Beatport on my own, just like looking for random shit. And I thought, right, if I can get that on Instagram and do tune of the day, you know, because a lot of record radio stations have record of the day, or, you know, track of the day. So I was like, I should do that. And I've got, honestly, that playlist. Do you follow it?
I don't follow playlists. I just follow it on Spotify.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't realise it was a playlist.
Yes, so I've made a playlist. I'll send you the link. And there's about 400 tunes on there now.
Do you want to give people who are watching the link, tell them where they can find
so
it?
If you go into my Spotify handle is the same as my Instagram, so it's Sarah My Story, and the playlist is called Tune of the Day. And it's like a bit of everything. It's from dance to more chill. It's mainly dance music, I'm not gonna lie. That's what I listen to all the time. But, like, it's everything from like old school acid house, funky house, a bit of everything.
Ibiza classics.
Yeah, Ibiza classics, just happy music. Like, I think if you listen to dance music, it just makes you feel happy, doesn't it?
It does, and I think like how do you know what your tune of the day is? Do you wake up with it in your head, or have you already got it pre-planned? Or it feels like when you put it out, you're proper vibing with that tune. So
yeah,
that's what I mean. Does it sort of come at different times of the day when you're like, that's the tune?
Yeah, so I'll be like flicking through Spotify and I'll just come across a tune and I'll be like, it's usually for me, it's a memory. Like, how does it make me feel? I posted Red Carpet, All Right. Do you remember that tune?
Mate,
yeah,
that's why,
right,
mate, that is the tune. I've been singing it all day.
Oh, what a tune. Do, 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 do. Oh, I used to sing that on boat parties in Ibiza.
Yeah,
and,
with Marco Loco. This is what
yeah.
I mean. I've been doing my research, digging down. I'm like, not only is you the sort of the sort, but you sung with Marco Loco as well. Shipwreck, mate. That's iconic.
So do you know how I ended up singing with Marco Loco? Right, this is a well funny story. So when I was in Ibiza, I got a job selling key rings. You remember I used to get to take pictures and make key rings, right? That was my job. Brilliant job, because you used to get to pick kind of the lineups you want to see, and then the boss would be like, right, you can do Eden tonight because it's twice as nice, or it's Wonderland with Pete Tong. And so the boss, I did really well one night. The boss was like, right, you're coming out with me and my friends. We went to SV, and I'd only been in Ibiza like a week, and the DJ that was on at SV was Marco Loco. And so I was like, who's this geezer? He's cool. Anyways, he gave me and my boss a lift back to San Antonio where I lived. And I started singing, obviously pissed, singing in his car. And he was like, are you a singer? I was like, yeah. It's like, sing on my boat party. And I thought he was joking. 2 weeks later, I'm on this boat party, drunk. And he's like, oh, you have been looking, because this was before like everyone was like, you know, on Instagram and chatting all the time. So he gets me on the mic. And I'm fairly aware of the fairies, and I just start freestyling all house classics over his set, and then that was how I got the job.
Whoa. Marco Loco, for me and my mates, like especially like 06, 07, 08, he was the unwritten king. Like, you go to see certain heads, but that boat party, Marco Loco, and he really got the essence of how to play what was popular, but also like, he was the one who really introduced me to Alan Brack's intro.
Ah, bong, bong, bong.
You know what I'm saying? But what he kept doing is he kept so like, you know, if you're a bit drunk in that, and the tunes are playing, and the way that he was doing it, it was the mermaid. That's what I think of, you know, that. I think that's the mermaids, right? I think it's like the sirens calling to him, and he'd loop that in, and we'd be like, it's coming, and then he'd mix it out, and then half hour later we'd do it again, and you're like, are we tripping? And before you know, he'd do it about 3 or 4 times through the set, and it was just and then when it dropped, the actual euphoria you got because you were waiting for that. He's the ultimate tease.
Yeah, he's an amazing DJ, and he's an amazing person. He's got a great vibe about him, and he was so good with me because he really took me under his wing, and he like, do you remember the shit party they used to do at the Zoo Project? He got me on singing at that, and there's a picture of me in like the worst fancy dress. It was like I didn't know what I was doing the first season, and there's a picture of me like singing house classics with him, and I'm like, it was nice that he took me under his wing and, you know, gave me the opportunity to sing in like Hush and on the boat parties, and I did Esparadisa. So it was a real like, yeah, it was a lovely time. Ibiza, it was great.
When you were developing yourself from radio presenter to actual DJ as well, did you reach out to anyone like that? Because you've got quite a good network to be able
to kind of get advice or help.
Yeah, and also a few of the technical bits as you were teaching yourself to mix.
So do you know what? I bought some decks when I was about 21. It's quite a funny story. I got a scholarship to go to university, and I didn't pay my fees the first year, and bought some decks and moved to Ibiza.
That's why you're a gangster, mate.
My dad was not happy. But I bought these decks, the 1000s, like I bought a really good setup, and I just was terrified to use them. But then eventually, I had a few friends that were DJs, and they showed me a few things when I was living in Leeds, and then I just kind of taught myself, but I actually, yeah, I suppose I've not kind of reached out to anyone and said, can you help me? But I did a course last year at LSA, London Sound Academy, and it was really, I would say to anyone who's teaching themselves to DJ, if they're feeling a little bit unsure about their ability, because I did, I felt a bit like, well, I'm putting myself out as a DJ. I should know every skill there is and every trick in the book. And I went to have my first session with this guy, and you know when everything just clicks?
Yeah.
Like within the first hour, I was like, oh. And
just that reassurance almost.
Yeah, and like I think I did 6 sessions with him, and by the end of it, I was like, right, okay, I'm not an expert, but I had that confidence then, and it was great to just do it with just someone who, it's hard, right? Because when you ask friends to help you to DJ, especially some guys, they don't want to teach you, they want to show off. And a few girls have said that to me, and I'm like, no, I know you can teach it, but show me how to do this. So, but yeah, maybe I should hit up some big DJs and be like, oh mate, give us a lesson.
You never know, mate. You never know. Or do you know what you'd be good at getting is the dub plates. You know, this is so and so with Sarah's story.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, I need to do that. Maybe I could voice my own ones. Oh, it's Sarah's story.
What voice was that?
Don't know.
Just Sarah's impressions. Just like we give you a list. That's what we do. We'll give you a list of impressions. What anyone who's watching, if you give some people who want Sarah to do an impression of, and by the end of it, we'll see if we can get her doing like impressions to give her a dub, like an Alan Partridge dub plate.
Oh my god, I love Alan Partridge, but I'm not very good at impressions. That's the only thing. I'm shit.
Back of the net with Sarah's story.
Let's move on.
Yeah. So you know when you're doing stuff with snowbombing recently, how did you find that? Like doing live set like in your front room?
Is it
surreal?
Yeah, it is. Luckily, I'd done a few before that, because Jen says, I want to see your best David Attenborough. And now we do Instagram Live. Terrible. This is why I won't do it. So I'd done a couple of streams beforehand, and I'm glad because it kind of taught me what to do and what not to do, just technically wise. But it is weird because there's no one there dancing. I've still got my housemate, but it's it is a bit, but it is surreal doing it. But it was really fun, and for me, it was great to be a part of it because a lot of more people got to see me DJ. Because when I was going out there, I was probably going to do like the earlier sets, so it was nice to do that and get a whole slot just for me for an hour. So I felt honoured to do it. It's really nice.
Is it something where you don't want to be pigeonholed as one sort of vocation because you have so many different feathers to your bows, and how do you get them to complement? Because they seem like they seem like they're all in the same sort of boat. You've got your singing, you've got your presenting, you've got your DJing. You could literally host the night, play at the night, do that. You could literally do it all. Like,
write the theme tune, sing the theme tune.
But do you know what I'm saying though? Like, but how then do you strike out to be able to do all of them, or is it the other way where it can be quite demanding to be doing them all and you prefer to maybe just do one at an event?
Well, it is. It's for me, it's just kind of, I'm doing things that I enjoy, and I mean, I need to have a plan really, but I think everyone's just winging it. Like, I'm one of these people that's like, right, I want to do this, and I know this person, and I can do this, and so let's just do it, and let's see if it works, and if it doesn't work, then we'll sack it off and we'll try something else. And I think when I started doing the radio stuff, I was like, right, I'm going to fully focus on just doing radio, because when I was living in Leeds, like 2013, 14, I was doing so much stuff, and I was kind of just tiring myself out, and I was like, I just want to focus on that one thing. But now I feel like, okay, I've learned my craft and I know what I'm doing. Now it's maybe time to do something different on top of that. So, I mean, I don't know how it'll all come together. Hopefully it will.
It seems like it's meant to. It seems like it can and it should.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm hoping that, I mean, it's obviously a shame because this summer was kind of, for me, was going to be, you know, lots of DJ gigs at festivals and things. And that was going to be a great platform for me to kind of show people what I'm about. But it ain't happening anymore. But it's now about, well, how do we get creative? We've got to make it still happen in a form through the internet now. So that's doing streams with Snowbombing. And I've just been chatting to my friend Ryan, actually, who's a DJ. And he's like, it's hard because you knew when you went to your festival, when you go to festivals, you've just got that content there. But now it's hard because you've got to get creative. But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't really have a plan. I need to get a plan though. I've been saying this. So I was like, I need to have like a direction of where I'm going.
I was speaking with Ralph Lawson on Monday, and he was coming up with a cool idea, and I was sort of toying with it as well, but I don't know how crazy Facebook are with the copyright thing, but everyone's sort of jumping to the live stream and they're doing it as a mix, but you could potentially combine your tune of the day with a live where you've got, right, these are my 5 picks of the day, and maybe you speak and you reminisce about like certain tales, why this song means to you, why you've chose it, and then maybe play the song into it. So it just mixes it up a bit, but again, it shows all your facets, all your strengths.
Yeah, yeah, and I suppose it's kind of like, it's like, that's like doing a live radio show in a way, isn't it? Yeah.
But with the autonomy of what you want to play, which is surely the key.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've never thought about it like that, and I suppose you're right. It's like, where's the next step now? Because we've all seen lots of live streams now, so it's like, how do we take it to that next level? How do we keep it interesting for people to watch? And yeah, I mean, that's a good shout, actually. I'll write that one down. I'll write that one down. I like that.
Could be a good influence on you, mate. Another thing that's I really admire about you is the balls that you have to just sort of move when you see an opportunity. You're like, I'm gonna go there. Like, I didn't know you went Cardiff. You threw that in there earlier, but I know you went.
Yeah, went to Wales. Yeah,
I know you went Liverpool. Obviously, you've been London and that. Do you find that again is something that you know? Are you quite settled in London with the opportunities, or say if New York came knocking, or if there's somewhere else, like, are you still quite keen to see where you could progress in?
I mean, it's just life, I suppose. If you get an opportunity, you've just got to go, right, I'm going to do this. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I'm one of these people that I hate to lose an opportunity and go, but what if? And things have worked out. And I mean, some things haven't worked out and it's been an absolute shitter. But it's just about kind of taking those opportunities when you see something and going for it. And like when I was in Liverpool, I bought a house and I had a car and I had a full-time job for Capital in Liverpool, and then an opportunity came up in London and I got in a relationship with someone in London, and I was like, right, okay, I've always wanted to go to London. I'm going to go to London. And so I rented my house out, sold my car, left my job, and I was doing all these mad things, and everyone was a bit like, are you sure this is the right thing to do? And at first it was tough, but then it's, I'm settled down, I'm happy down here, and I suppose it's about putting yourself on the line, really. But I mean, yeah, if LA was calling, I wouldn't mind going out there. It's better weather, isn't it? Although I do love it over here in a way, like, even like Northerners, like, I can't imagine you get many Northerners kicking about in LA.
Do you know, so Danny DeVille, he's looking to move out to LA. Don't know if you know Danny DeVille.
No, I don't know him.
He's of similar circles, but he's a director and film sort of film. Do you know what? He because we're going to come to Brits. You've got your name all over Brits at the minute with pre-parties and that, haven't you? Where's my plus one? Where's my plus one? But he was taking photos at the Brits at the openings, and you were also at the Capital party that you all did.
Ah, really? Which one?
The one before Christmas.
Oh, the Jingle Bell Ball.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
That one.
Right, yeah.
You won't know him, but anyway. But what I'm saying is, there will be good heads who will be out in LA.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm happy in Hackney for now, but we'll see.
That sounds like a song lyric. If Mike Skinner put that on a bar like, I'm happy in Hackney, I'd be like, yeah, you're getting a lighter. That's a wheel up. That's a bar like, I'm happy in Hackney. You can have that.
I'll write that one down as well.
Streets, lighter. Get that lighter. So how are you finding your vlogging? That was one of the things that you were sort of looking when we met at that time at Manhattan, Leeds, and you were on about like
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to say, do you know what? I don't know if I'm allowed to say this actually, but I'm gonna, because why not? Right.
Yeah.
So when we met and you were on about something like what I don't know if it were going to be a topic on one of your vlogs, but I'm actually now using it in my stand up, and it's on about ladies and their freezing things.
Freezing eggs, yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know
yeah,
if I
yeah.
wanted to say it because if I
Yeah,
said
no,
freezing,
yeah,
you were like,
it's on my Instagram TV. I did a vlog about it. Yeah, so I kind of was looking at ways to do more stuff online. You know, everyone's when you speak to people and you say that you're a presenter, they're always like, get yourself on YouTube and do this and do that. And I was like, right, okay, well, I don't want to just go on and just do anything. I want to have a kind of something that I've got a strong opinion about. So I did like just a short series of like 6 different topics. I did one on turning 30. I did one on VIP areas, one on freezing your eggs. I can't remember what the others are, but they're all, if you go on my Instagram TV, they're all there. And I really enjoyed doing it. And my friend Laura helped me out editing it because I'm shit at editing. Like it's not very good at stuff like that. I need to get good. But yeah, and it was really nice to do it actually, because for me it was like practice talking to camera, which is a very strange thing to do in the first place. But it was also just nice to kind of put myself out to my followers and them to kind of learn a bit more about me. It's not just me doing radio, it's me talking about things that are real life to me, which was turning 30 at the time, which I wasn't happy about at first.
the best decade. It's like that age where you feel like you can tell people because you're of an age. It's like if someone told me that at 30, I'd be like, oh, I've got to listen. Gives you that bit more of a like shoulder in it, you know what I mean? It's like, oi, oi.
Yeah, I think it's a funny one, isn't it? Because I spent a lot of my time, and I think it's a lot of women, especially in the industry that I'm in, they feel the pressure with their ages, and some people might lie about their ages because people just think as soon as you're of a certain age, it's like, oh, you're past it now and whatever. So for me, that was always in the back of my head. And actually, when I got to 30, I was like, I feel great. I feel fine. I don't give a shit. So yeah.
Is there that type of pressure within the entertainment industry from a female's perspective, and also coming to the DJing side? Are you finding that there are now starting to be a lot more female DJs that are out and about and being put on bills?
I mean, I think the DJing and stuff like that, it's not as bad. I think more on the entertainment side of like more TV presenter kind of stuff, and more actresses, I think they feel a lot of pressure. But to be honest, maybe it was just me putting the pressure on myself a lot of the time. I think girls tend to do that a bit more than guys. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping now there's more women in the industry, and I've seen a massive change over the past even like 2 years. I don't think it was a stigma, but I think me personally, it was something that I worried about, and I think other girls would probably agree with me that it is something that you do worry about it. I'm gonna be too old to do this, and you do see a lot of men. I mean, actors, for instance, a lot of men can get away with it, you know, acting till like they're ready to pop the clogs, whereas like not as many women. I feel like it is quite ageist, isn't it, in the industry for acting?
It's a good switch of perspective. I've never really considered it. I've just always thought with these genes, I'm going to go on forever. Do you know what I mean?
You'll be fine, mate. You'll be fine.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. This pigmentation will get... I'm 74, mate. I'm 70. Trade secret. Sponsor me up, E45. Sponsor me up. Trade secrets.
Yeah, get yourself a sponsor with that.
100%, man. So how is life at Capital? How is, you know, you're doing varying different time slots, and one of the craziest things that I saw on your Insta recently was when you were walking through Leicester Square and it was properly dead.
Yeah, it's been really weird going into work because I'm so used to going into Leicester Square on a Friday and Saturday night, and I get into work at like 8:30, 8:45, and that is when it's peak for Leicester Square. You know, people are going to the cinema, or people are going to get ice cream, or there's just tourists everywhere. So it was like, it was exciting actually going into work, but you've also obviously got to push past everybody, get to the crowd.
Sweet Symphony video.
Yeah. I always had my tunes on. I was like, I'm getting through this crowd. So yeah, it's been very strange going into work and there's no one around. But on air, it's been nice because a lot of people are getting in touch, and you know, when you get texts, it's usually from people that are in taxis going on a night out, whereas a lot of people are just partying at home now. But we're getting loads of interaction, which is great, and it's just nice to kind of get that caller on and give someone a bit of a voice. It brightens people's day up, doesn't it? When you get a shout out, like, I'll text in radio stations and ask for a shout out, for fuck's sake, and I'm on the radio.
I've texted in for a shout out. I didn't get it, but it's all right. It's all right.
To me? Oh, yeah. Just text me. Just text me. I'll do it.
I did. All right. No, 100%.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
I feel bad now.
I bigged it up to taxi driver as well. I was like, mate, that's my mate.
Oh.
Like, yeah, I'll text it in, like, and yeah.
I thought you were lying.
Yeah, he added £7 at Journey.
Do you know what? I've got some friends of free taxi before. They were like, we're in an Uber. Can you give the taxi driver a shout out? If you do, we'll give us a trip for free. So I did, and they got it for free. I was like, get in.
Free trip and 5 stars. That's right.
Yeah.
Danny Mottram's after a shout out. Good old Danny Mottram. He's a good gent.
Hi, Danny Mottram. I'll definitely give you a shout out. Drop us a text, 83958 on tomorrow night. I'll give you a shout out.
And then tell us a bit more about how you got involved with the Brits then, like hosting the pre-parties, because you've done that a couple of years now, haven't you?
Yeah, so I got involved in 2018, so it's through Capital. They asked me to host a couple of so they do War Child, which is the charity. They do a week of gigs leading up to the Brits. And that year they asked me to host Kygo's show and Jessie Ware. Now I'm a massive fan of Jessie Ware.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I've got a massive picture of her on the wall over there.
She's your proper queen, like.
Oh, I used to do my hair like her and everything.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I was obsessed with her. Yeah, it was when I was living in Leeds. That was when I was living in Leeds and I met you. And I interviewed her and I made her write it myself. But yeah, so that was how I got in with it. And then I met the guys that were running it, and we just got on, and they asked me back each year. So I did 2019 and this year as well, which was cool. I did AJ Tracy, that was good. And yeah, I went to the after party, which was cool, the Sony after party, which was fun.
And yeah, look at you mingling in them circles. You're getting sent free clothes. You're balling, mate.
Do you know what though? We had to sneak my friend into that party because I only had one invite. You know what I'm like, that proper like try and blag it on the door. So I do this in nightclubs. I used to do this all the time. So I was like, we could do this in the Brits. So I got a band off my friend. So I thought, right, I'm definitely going to be able to get in. And my friend was like, just use my name at the door for your other friend Roberta. And so I had my bands on it, and I don't know how we blagged her to get in the end. How did we do it? I had the band on my arm, so I think we said that she was called Abby McCarthy, if you're watching. And we got her in, and the guy didn't question it. We were just like, go, 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 go. We were in. We were like, once you get past that point, you're like, yes.
Don't look back, just straight forward,
just keep going.
No, 100%. Yeah. I think that, you see, that's where lassies can get away with that sort of stuff. Like,
yeah,
definitely play the charm card.
Absolutely. Like, yeah, I was like, we're going to get in here. You know, when you're just so determined, you're just like, I think you've got to be like positive frame of mind. Like, I went to the Berghain a few weeks ago, and I was I was in the queue for ages. Like, it was about 2.5 hours, and I was like, just think positive. You're gonna get in. You're gonna get in. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be sound. It's all right. And we got in, and honestly, when we got in, you have to pretend that you're like cool about it. You're like, yeah. And then once you pass the door, you've paid. You're like, yes, like celebration, hugging each other. Like, right, let's get a drink.
I bet that's why it's so sick. Everyone's just the same relief. It's just mass relief inside.
That is exactly what it is. I think the whole club's just buzzing that they managed to get in, and everyone's just partying.
Mass relief and sex chambers. The Germans know how to do it well.
It's mental in there.
I've never been, but I had a weird dream actually that when I know someone who's going to play over there, I'm going to jump over with them because I don't know if I'd get in. I
think you would. I think you would.
I think I would really. I just wanted you to have that faith in me.
I think you would. My friend Haley was like, I think they can just like sense who's sound and who's not. I was like, what? Because we got in, so we think we're sound.
Shout out Haley every time as well, man.
Big shout out Haley Johnson. Yeah, I mean, I think you get in. Just be sound on the door and just be you. I think they just don't want to let his housemate come down. Where's he gone?
His legs just came.
He come down, Matt. It's all right.
That is quality. That is class. I love that. Just not even his top frame, just up to about there. Just came and just turned back up.
Sorry, Matt. It's really funny because my housemate's been doing Zooms with everyone from his office, like his team. And it's really weird. I feel like I know them now because I hear them every day. And I'm like, so what are they called? And like looking at my Instagram and like I introduced myself today. I was like waving at them today. One of them's from Whitehaven, which is near where I'm from. The other one is like, he's called Matt and he lives in Wales. But I feel like I know his colleagues. It's really bizarre, this whole working from home thing.
Have they started following you?
They haven't actually.
That's the next step.
Yeah, I need to get to follow me and then we're proper mates then, aren't we?
Just maybe just like as you're walking behind, just have like your Insta handle.
It's a good shout. I've got it on a like box somewhere. Here we go. Here we go.
On brand.
That's what I need.
Just like swimming past.
Follow me.
Hypnotising them in. I know you've given me your time, and I appreciate that. I'd just like to ask you about MTV, and then what you see the future being, other than us two getting married, and then and then that's it.
Yeah. So MTV. I'd worked for them last year, so I did some stuff. It was called MTV Stack, so that was like an online Facebook game, and it was intense because it was the first time that I'd ever done to camera auto cue live on my own for 15 minutes or 20 minutes non-stop.
Do you write what's on the auto cue?
No, they had a team that did that, thank God, because it was a lot. Because I had to basically give out a question and then you'd have them, the audience giving their answers, and I'd have to look at the screen and then I'd have to look at the answers. So I had two screens, and obviously you're trying to present and be like, hey, and hold your shit together, and you're sweating your tits off.
Someone in your ear as well?
Yeah, you got someone in your ear, and so it was quite intense. So that was my first kind of proper like TV gig, I suppose. It was online, but yeah, and I did that for about a month, and it was great. It was really great exposure, great platform, and great experience, and I absolutely loved it. But I've not done anything with them since. But I'd love to do more TV stuff. I really love doing TV and presenting and to camera stuff, and it was nice to do the snowbombing stuff. That was good. I hosted like the first night of snowbombing. It was really weird. I was doing
brothers as well and stuff, weren't it? And Mr. Motivator? Mr.
Motivator was doing it, yeah. But it was really funny because I was filming the links outside in my yard, and my neighbours, it was a sunny day, and all my neighbours were just like watching me like, what is she doing? And I'm like, hi, welcome to snowbombing. It was really weird. But yeah, MTV was great. It's a great brand to work with, great platform. It's good fun.
Are these the conversations you get to have with your agent about wanting to step a bit more into the realms of TV? And also, because you've gone in at such a high level, clearly that's a great calling card, because not even just working for MTV, but learning the skill of an auto cue, earpiece, like that's such down the line stuff. That now that you've got that accolade, surely like you'd be able to appeal to more opportunities in that scene. Yeah,
I mean, hopefully. I think it's a tough one with TV, isn't it? Because I love music presenting, and at the minute there's no music platforms. There's not many music TV shows. We used to have CD UK and
SMTV.
T4, SMTV, and there was all these like platforms for music presenters. Yeah, Pop World. With remember Lex Chung and all those
Simon
kind
Amstel on that,
Simon Amstel, Nick Grimshaw. Those guys had those platforms, and now there's not as many. But I would love to do more, and it was gutting actually, because just before lockdown I had something in the pipeline that could have been quite big, and obviously everything's been stopped until foreseeable. So yeah, I mean, I think when you want to do presenting, it's about finding your niche. It's now I think with presenters, they don't just want you to be able to deliver being a presenter, they want you to have an angle on something. So whether that's something that you strongly believe in, Stacey Dooley, she does all her documentaries. I mean, big up Louis Theroux. I wouldn't say he was a presenter, he's more of a journalist, isn't he? But I think now as a presenter, you've got to have your angle on things. But I don't know, it's a tough industry.
What about Sarah's stories on subcultures and you went and discovered different subcultures of music, because you get the quirkiness of it, but you're still involved around music as well. That'd be pretty sick.
I'd love to do something like that, and I've actually pitched not necessarily like lots of different subcultures, but I've actually pitched a few ideas about looking into the music scene. It was in Leeds actually. I pitched it to Boiler Room because they were doing some like short documentaries. But yeah, I'd love to do something like that. And I think it's about, if you want to do that kind of thing, it's about coming up with the ideas. You can't just sit at home waiting for the call to go, you're doing this show, you're doing Love Island. I think it's about coming up with your own ideas, and it's the best because if you come up with that idea, you control it, it's yours, you make the money from it as well, it's your thing.
I've just got an idea, and I think you'll be able to do more with it. That's why I shall bestow it to you. Why don't you do Love Kitchen?
Okay.
Or Love Island Kitchen. So you get people maybe on a Zoom, and like you have it where you could do a Love Island setup, but from the living rooms, but just call it like Love Island Kitchen or Love Living Room or something.
What, get people to like crack onto each other whilst they're cooking?
Yeah, exactly. And you're like moderating it. It'd be chaos.
It'd be dangerous though if they're like cooking some oil and they get it on the blooming chest if they're in a bikini. That isn't going to go down, is it?
Especially if it's a guy.
I'll put that down on the list as well, Ben.
All right, thank you. Put that on the list. You brought him up. I was going to end after that, but you brought him up, so I think this is a good like little nod to bow out on. So you and
Hi, Rich Stale, Rich from Works watching.
you and Louis Theroux.
Yes.
Can you tell us that tale?
So I went to Ibiza with Capital it was 2 summers ago, and when I used to live in Leeds, we used to obviously party, and we would say, you know, if you'd not been to bed after a night out and you were still up, you'd call it a Louis, you'd call it a Louis Theroux, a thrower, so you'd call it a Louis. So it was being a joke between me and like Steve Roberts, who you know from Leeds, and a few other people. And it just is the thing now with me and my friends. It's like, oh, did a Louis. Like, oh, right, did a thrower. So we went to Ibiza, interviewed Jax Jones, and me and him got chatting about his stag do in Ibiza. And then he said he'd stayed up all night. I said, oh, did a Louis. And then I explained to him what it meant, and he absolutely loved it. So Capital posted the interview out on Twitter and added in Louis Theroux, and Louis Theroux retweeted the actual interview and said, cancel the OBE, this is the only honour I need. And I was just like, oh, Louis Theroux knows what a Louis is now, this is min. I was just absolutely, I was buzzing.
Cancel the OBE as well, that's like the highest accolade that he's giving the props.
But the thing now is, I need to do a Louis with Louis, don't I? That I need to meet Louis Theroux and do a Louis with him.
I reckon he'd be on it, you know. Well, maybe that's it. Maybe it's the subcultures, but you and Louis going around.
Oh, imagine going to like a Gabba night with Louis Theroux.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be sick. Mate, I'm sure that you can create anything. The world's in front of you, and it's up for yours for the claiming. So you keep smashing it, keep nailing it, keep winning my heart.
Thank you very much, Ben. You're so kind. Thank you. And you too.
Mwah.
Thank you.
What a team we make. All right. Anyway, I'll leave you be. No, the outfit.
Which one?
The one just won.
Oh.
We're going to leave it on that. This is for the outfit, mate. This is for the outfit. Fire, mate. Absolute fire feet. Right, you take care.
Oh, bless you.
I look forward to catching up on the other side of it.
Thank you. Thank you. See you later.
Bye. Bye. There you are, Sarah's story. Absolute diamond, wifey all over, but just an incredible creative, good host, solid soul, great work ethic to get where she's been. She deserves everything that she's getting, and I'm just sure that there's bigger to come. So yeah, I'm going to go through some messages that came through. Sorry if I wasn't able to read them out as we're rolling, as we were locked in conversation. I want to give a shout out to the brother from South Africa who gave me a shout out, actually. Here we go. Freddie Matshoa. Big up. Sorry if I didn't pronounce your surname proper. I'm following you, Ben, because I loved your interviews on AFTV. watching from Johannesburg. So shout out to the Joburg and shout out for AFTV who dipped in this as well. But now, man, big ups to everybody who's been just locked into that. Thank you, DJ Emma. Thank you, everybody. I've got, get on this. This is crazy. I can't believe I'm saying these words. So this is Loose Lips. It's a chat show geared towards raising the spirits of everybody through these times, and I'll get guests from all different walks of life and backgrounds and creative outlets, etc. The next interview that I've got coming up in 15 minutes is with Paul Foot. Yes! Stay safe, stay cool. I'll see you for the next chat with Paul Foot, stand-up comedian extraordinaire. Peace.